From the non-manifest I came, and pitched my tent in the forest of material existence. I passed through mineral and vegetable kingdoms. Then my mental equipment carried me into the animal kingdom. Having reached there, I crossed beyond it. Then in the crystal clear shell of human heart, I nursed the drop of self in a pearl. And in association with good men, wandering round the prayer house, and having experienced that cross beyond it, then I took the road that leads to him, and became a slave at his gate. Then the duality disappeared, and I became absorbed in him. Those are the words of my 11th century poet ancestor, known as Khwaja Abdullah Ansari, who is known as one of the most famous and respected of early Persian Sufis. He was born on May 4th in Herat, Afghanistan in the year 1006, a western city in the country. By the way, if you respell Herat, move the letters around, you will have the name Heart. Now, Intimate Conversations with Khwaja Abdullah Ansari is a book I just ordered on Amazon. I do not know the full story of my ancestor, having been separated from most of my family most of my life. But it's something that I've been doing some research into. And I found the works of my 11th century Sufi Islamic ancestor to be very, very interesting. This is a depiction of him. Sufi Islam is very different than Orthodox Islam, or what people are introduced or exposed to in the West. Khwaja Abdullah Ansari is the ancestor of the Ansars, which were the helpers of the, quote, Prophet Muhammad of the 7th century. Khwaja Abdullah Ansari belongs to a short list of the most excellent poets of the Sufi realm. He is also known as the Sage of Herat. He is the author of many books on Islamic mysticism and philosophy in Persian and Arabic. His most famous work translates into English as Intimate Conversations with God, and it's considered a masterpiece of Persian literature. After his death, his students and disciples compiled his teachings called Commentaries on the Quran and named it Kashful Ashrar, which translates to Unveiling of the Mysteries. One of the major early writers of Persian mystical literature, Ansari is best loved for this collection of simple flowing sentences, long used as a devotional handbook. In his very human dialogues with God, Ansari speaks of love and longing for his Creator, as well as the frustration at his own human frailty. He used to avoid the company of the rich and powerful and influential. Khwaja Abdullah Ansari died in Herat in the year 1088 and has been buried in Herat, and it is still there today. It is a place of pilgrimage for thousands of Sufis and fans. The shrine, by the way, was built in the 14th or 15th century. Khwaja Abdullah Ansari of Herat was a direct descendant of Abu Ansari and was the 9th in line from him. So apparently they have featured this Sufi mosque of my ancestor on the $500 bill, the 500 Afghani bill. And there's also some information in a book, if we can go back to that, on his biography, the text, consisting of a biographical account of this early Sufi master's childhood, youth, and years as a teacher and spiritual leader, as well as of translations of a selection from his books. This work traces the life and teachings of Abdullah Ansari from poverty and destitution as a boy, by way of furious arguments with scholars advocating a more rationalistic approach to their faith, to his final pronouncements on the path of love and union. Often we are told very negative things about the teachings of the Far East, and a lot of things are lumped into one box: radical Islam, terrorism. But if you look back at history, we have historical figures, and sometimes they're in our own family. And in my case, there is a relative, there is an ancestor in my own family, who in a way, during very violent times, carved his own way and spoke his own word and stood against the control structure, stood against the mass way of thinking in Afghanistan at that time in the 11th century. And so I'm proud of that. I'm proud of where I come from. And this is a part of Afghanistan that a lot of people don't know. And you can research more about this individual online, but I'll be talking about more about this particular individual as time goes on. Here's another poem. Can you walk on water? You have done no better than a straw. Can you fly in the air? You have done no better than a blue bottle. Conquer your heart, and then you may become somebody. And so when I read this stuff, it reminds me of Late Sioux. It reminds me of Taoism. Here's another. O Lord, there is no limit to your grace. There is no tongue capable of uttering thanks to you. You are ever present. Why then should I search? You are ever mindful. What then should I say? Let's go to another. This one's called A Path of Devotion. In this path the eye must cease to see, and the ear to hear, save unto him and about him. Be as dust on his path. Even the kings of this earth make the dust of his feet the balm of their eyes. And now we'll go to another. This one is called The Beauty of Oneness. An eye filled with the vision of this world cannot see the attributes of the hereafter. An eye filled with the attributes of the hereafter would be deprived of the beauty of oneness. And we'll go to one more. The friend beside me, oh God, you know why I'm happy. It is because I seek your company, not through my own efforts. Oh God, you decided and I did not. I found the friend beside me when I woke up. And so this is an aspect of Islam. This is an aspect of Afghanistan. This is an aspect of my own personal family history that much of this world knows nothing about, although they know a few things about Sufism and Rumi, but just not Khwaja Abdullah Ansari of Herat, Afghanistan. And so in this country, we have people that may recognize Jesus, for example, but they may not be fundamentalists. They may not get up in your face and say, if you do not profess your faith to Jesus and only Jesus, you are going to burn in hell. There are people in our society that may look toward the teachings of Jesus Christ, for example, but may operate outside the box of being a fundamentalist. And so the same thing can be seen in the East. When we look at Sufism, we're really looking at metaphysics. We're seeing mysticism. We're seeing a different view of what it really means to be connected with God. And I see parallels between what he was looking at, what he was writing about, and what people are also seeking today, to have a direct connection and understanding of how the universe really operates, also known as God. And so this is very interesting to see my own life seek to have the answers, to know the truth and to speak the truth, but also to know where I came from. In time, I'm going to share more information about Khwaja Abdullah Ansari. Thank you for watching.